Hello everyone, and a warm welcome again to MentorUsLive, the only digital platform that connects people like you and me to people who are making it happen out there in society. Wow, how was that?
That was great.
Are you sure?
You are it.
Yay! I've made it in life. Mama, I made
Oh
it.
my gosh. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are joined by none other than the NewsBae, philanthropist, journalist, news anchor, and a caretaker. NewsBae,
Yes.
you are going into the black belt.
How are you, Pedzi? I'm good. How's everything going?
No, forget about the high. Black belts?
Yeah.
How?
Hard training, countless hours.
No, of course I know how, but what was black belt?
Okay, so you're asking, this is probably like you saying, why karate though?
Yes.
Okay, I did not want to kill anyone. I promise. I didn't want to do it to beat up people. No. So I got into it because of a journalism thing that I was doing. This lady came through. Her name is Grace Chirumanzo. She's a sports journalist, and she asked us, if you want to become a sports journalist, just come through. I'll mentor you and everything. Take you through the steps. And I joined because I really love sport. And the first sport we went into was karate, just to understand the best way you can understand something. Most probably, like, just getting into it, you can understand it better. Get into karate, you understand it better. We started with karate, we did rugby, we did cricket, but I continued doing karate. And I loved it. I felt like I was born to do it. So I just continued, and then I progressed from there, and I've been going to tournaments, I've been doing it.
Thank you so much for being on the show tonight.
Thank you so much for having me, hey?
We're so excited. I kind of have to tweak the way I talk because I'm now kind of talking like a news anchor. So how are you?
Does a news anchor have like a specific, do I do this like all the time now? Like, is it?
You do it all the time.
Oh my gosh, I didn't notice.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
So tell me, did you always know that you're going to be a NewsBae?
No.
Tell us, how did it start?
So I'm a shy person. So that's like one thing I was never gonna do. Being in front of a camera like this, my goodness, you have no idea the amount, my palms are sweaty right now. But I'm a very shy person, I'm very conserved, and I did not think I would ever become a news anchor or into public speaking of any sort. But then it just so happened I ended up there because of my dad.
Yeah, in one of your articles you said that your father actually persuaded you because between the years of 2010 and 2012, you were actually an announcer at the prestigious Kotko Rugby Festival.
Imagine, yeah, the then Kotko, now is the Dairy Board Rugby Festival, but I used to announce, what's it called? I used to just go and volunteer whenever the tournament was happening, and because my brother learned there, and he was also a Tiger. Go Tigers, yes. So I happened to be announcing the one day that my brother was playing in the final, and my dad was there as well. So he was like, but I heard your voice, you've got a great voice. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I was just doing it for fun. And he said, you should go to ZBC, try to audition. I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. 3 weeks. Have you gone? I'm going to go tomorrow. 3 weeks. And then the one day he's like, just go to ZBC today. I had no idea where to get the combis. I had no idea where ZBC was. I went, got there, sat in the reception, and I'm like, yeah, no one's going to listen to me. I'm just going to do this for my dad so that he just gets over this whole idea that I can ever be a news anchor or whatever. But I went, I auditioned, they loved my voice. Training started, I got launched. Voila, I'm here.
In one of your articles, you actually wrote that on your first day, you messed up so many times, you probably cut the news earlier than it was supposed to be done.
My first day on TV news, that was the worst day of my life, I tell you.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to encounter another worst day, but I actually closed the news. I was like, well, that's all I had for you on Good Morning Zimbabwe. We meet again tomorrow. And then the producer comes and says, no, we've got a guest who's coming just now. She was late, but so I'm like, okay, come back. Well, we couldn't go without talking to this very, very awesome musician. I was so dramatic.
Oh gosh, and we see like with the track record of your life, you have rapidly grown, getting endorsement from really sought after institutions within Zim government, the Air Force, the CID. You are actually the face of their charity fund. Tell us, how did you get to connect with so strong people?
I'm still in awe at some of the things, some of the opportunities that I've come across throughout my career so far. I was amazed when I was called by the Air Force of Zimbabwe, and they said they wanted me to be part of their board of charities for the Commander Air Force of Zimbabwe Charity Fund.
Wow.
So they run so many charities and they help so many orphans, so many disadvantaged children. And I was like, why did they choose me though? And when I was speaking to the Air Force commander, he was like, you know what? We've been watching what you're doing, some of your philanthropic work, and you seem to just have the same values that we have. We want to empower young women, because I'm strongly for the empowerment of young women, young girls, because of other things that might have happened in my life. So they're like, we have noticed that you've been doing a lot of work with charity. You've been doing your birthday parties around charity and all. So we just realized that you are that person that we need on board. That's how I ended up with the Air Force Charity Fund. And then with the CID Commercial Crimes Division, that was random.
Okay.
But they only came to me because they had an event and they wanted an MC. But when I spoke to them, they realized I could actually be a part of their team, a part of their marketing team and all, just helping out with how we can fundraise and all. That's how I ended up being a part of that. And we're fighting cybercrime and we're fighting commercial crimes in our country. So it was a very, very big opportunity for me. It was a big, big platform to be on.
And actually remember that it's not only these organizations that had so much love for you. When you started reading the 8 p.m. news, which is actually the most watched news period or prime time within ZTV, you stopped for a period and the whole country literally went crazy. And they said, hashtag bring back NewsBae.
That's how NewsBae got famous. Like the name, that's how it became NewsBae, you know?
Yeah.
It was just that period where it was just that, remember when people were getting fired on those 3 months?
Yeah. It was a harsh economic time.
It was a harsh economic time then, and I happened to just be a part of it as well. But then the support I got from people amazed me. I was like, okay, I didn't know I was that popular. Even people who didn't watch the news were saying, bring back news. And I'm like, wait a minute, you ain't been watching news. You're in the UK though. We ain't even on Facebook right now. And you're saying, bring back NewsBae. People were doing petitions. People were holding little placards saying, bring back NewsBae. And I'm like, yeah, it was around that time, the Shibok girls. And I was amazed. I was humbled. That was the moment I was really, really humbled. And I realized that I've made such an impact in our society, which means I've got so many people who are also looking up to me. So that was like that moment of reckoning.
I mean, talking also of you said that it's the decision to help other ladies within their growth and progress in life comes back from a point where you were nearly crushed as a child. And I mean, I'll let you tell us what exactly happened, but you were a victim to teenage pregnancy. And this is a period where it would really crush any child's life. How did you come out of it?
I would just say a really strong support base got me out of it, and a strong faith in God got me out of it. But I didn't think I would get out of it. I got pregnant at 16. Who gets out of that? A few people. I was young. I was taken advantage of. I didn't understand what's happening. And I'm a child with a child, and I'm still going to school. And I want to go back to school. My parents can't take me back to school anymore because now they also have to take care of my child. So I had to now start working myself back to where I really wanted to be, because deep down inside I really felt I was meant to be great somehow, somewhere, at some point in time, and that's not where I was supposed to be, where I was then. The devil had tried to take that away from me, but I spoke to God. I told him, I am not going to let this bring me down. You're going to get me out of this. And I had to work myself out of it, and guess what I did? I started working at a service station. Yeah, I was a petrol attendant.
Really?
I had to work myself back to school. So I went to Mutare, my dad's friend, we call him Uncle. He had a service station there. Still has a service station there. So I went, and he's like, so you okay with working at the pump? And I'm like, hey, yeah, let's do it. Let's do 6 months and see how that's going to go. And at first it was so dramatic. Like, I got petrol in my eyes the very first day, because I didn't know that you don't put the whole nozzle into the into the bottle, into a 2-liter bottle.
Yeah.
So the petrol went onto my face.
Oh, shame.
And I was screaming, and everyone was like, come salad. But then it was that point I was like, you know what, I just have to be strong. And from then on, I just realized how strong I was. I became a gangster at that point in time. I would get up those trucks, dip and everything, and yeah, I became a pro at it.
No, it's really good because so many people get crushed when their dreams or even hope to advance, you know, shows up in their lives like that. But in terms of your employment, let's talk about the entrepreneurship side. What principles did you learn from your entrepreneurship or your employment phase when you were at the service station?
Or the power of resilience, really, and just humbling yourself. It really taught me to be humble, because you go there and you're like, I know I'm not supposed to be here. Oh, do you know who I am? Do you know which school I went to? And stuff like that. But then you realize everyone else is also out there trying to make it in life. And you just have to be resilient, and you have to stick to your guns, stick to your principles. And that's what I really learned. Okay, I'm here. But then I had to look at the end. So I was doing what I was doing with the end in mind. I'm not just looking at the situation I am in right now. That's how I got out of everything. That's how I ended up becoming who I am, starting my own stuff and trying to build myself up and build other people as well.
And years down the line, it seems like because your brand keeps growing bigger and bigger, you perhaps have to keep proving yourself as a lady within the industry. Have you ever gotten to such a point where you have to prove yourself?
Many times. It is difficult to be in an industry where it's mainly dominated by men as well. Especially just look at karate. There are not many women who are doing karate, but I'm in there, I'm trying to prove myself. So a lot of people are like, she's just in the brown belt because she's NewsBae. But they don't realize that I've put so much work to get to that brown belt. And then when they see me in grading, then they're like, all right, she really did work. And they realize that I always have to constantly prove myself. At work, constantly have to prove myself. So people are talking about some business venture that has happened, and people expect you not to know anything that's happening in the country because you're a woman. So I always have to constantly prove to them that I do know what is happening and I understand what is actually happening in our society. So you constantly have to keep showing people that you are capable to do what they think is a men's world.
And you've embraced the title NewsBae, not because of its flashy thing, but based on the fact that now you are going beyond borders, you know, representing the country. Tell us, how did you manage to create connections to go out there like that?
So I don't really know how it all happened. It all comes out. It all just comes together somehow. But because of the connections I've made, the people, when I meet people, the connections I make with the specific people, it's all about the brand. So how the people see my brand, it's so interactive, I'm so engaging. People are like, no, but you're not such a bad person to have around. So I end up having people, I met a group of people at a conference at the Rainbow Towers, and they're like, no, you're a great person, you've got a great personality. We want you to come to our programs, we want you to come to our conferences. That's how I end up going to Namibia, to Swaziland, how I end up going to COMESA events, SADC, UNICEF, you name it. That's how I end up just doing those things. It's mainly about just the brand, the way I carry myself, the way I talk to people, and the way I interact with people. And then they realize, okay, we want this person on our team. And that's how it's been working out.
And perhaps what could possibly be a distinguishing factor, because I think there are several news anchors, not just on the main telly, but even on social media and all that. What makes your brand so distinct from these others? Maybe one or two people could actually pick up the facts and grow their brands.
Well, it's all about being yourself. Some people want to try to be like someone else.
Like NewsBae.
I started off wanting to be like someone else as well. It's nothing out of the ordinary. But you just have to find your identity and be unique, because that's what's going to push you. If you're trying to be someone else, they're better at being themselves than you can ever be. So just be yourself. Try to push your own brand. Try to push your uniqueness, your own personality. I've put my personality into everything I do. So when people think, they're like, you're different, you're like this, you're like that, I'm like, that's just who I am. I'm not going to try to, because they say you should do it like this, I'm going to do it like this. I just put my own personality into it, and that's how I've connected with people at home.
We're just going to take a short break. Putting your personality to work. This is MentorUsLive, and we are with Takawira, the NewsBae. We'll be back in just a moment.
This ad was meant to be all about how Pizza Hut is now in Zimbabwe. But once we saw our fresh handmade dough, signature Pizza Hut sauce, deliciously fresh ingredients, all generously placed, and that perfectly cooked crust, we got distracted, and now you'll have to come and taste it for yourself. Pizza Hut, opening soon at Stir Kineko, Sem Levis Village.
Welcome back. You're watching MentorUsLive. I am NewsBae, or Rumbi Takawira, whichever way you want to call it. Welcome back, Pezzi.
Thank you, Ru. I think we should really do this more often, Yeah,
I think this is a great partnership, actually.
Now, speaking about brands and their growth, I'm sure at some point when you were NewsBae, you probably kicked a stone or nearly tripped and fell. What are some of the low points that you went through in your career, and how did you learn from them?
Well, there's the issue of being prepared. I took that for granted. I had always taken that for granted. I'm like, okay, so I'm going to be making a presentation tomorrow. It's fine. I'll be okay. I will just see how it goes when we get there. So my very first big gig ever was hosting Miss Zimbabwe, and I was not even prepared. I did not even have a dress. I didn't even know who was going to do my makeup. I didn't really understand. I hadn't really watched previous presenters attentively like that, as in okay, this is what I'm going to be doing next if I am to be. I never thought I would be on such a platform. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
So when it comes, bam, smack in my face, I'm like, yeah, I can totally do this. And the day comes, I don't even have a dress yet. I'm getting my makeup done last minute, and I'm getting on stage, and I'm in a dress that doesn't really fit properly. And it all just made me think, maybe I'm not supposed to be in this profession. But then what I then realized was it's all about preparedness. You have to, I knew about this event probably 3 weeks, 4 weeks before.
Yeah.
I could have prepared myself all along, and I would have been totally perfect on the very day. But I did not prepare myself well. But that's a lesson learned. Next event, take it by force, take it by storm. We'll see how it goes.
And in growing your brand.
And in growing my brand as well.
Yeah.
And you also encounter corporates who want to work with you. I've encountered one corporate, the issue of overstretching yourself, thinking you can totally do this and that and that and that. So I'm speaking to these guys. I'm like, no, I can do this for you and also work on that and work on that. But then when I was trying to put it all together, I was like, okay, wait a minute. I'm actually a one-man band right now.
Yeah.
Okay, a one-woman band. And I'm supposed to be doing that right now, and I need someone to do that and do that. I realized I overstretched myself. That's another issue that we have as people. We want to be jacks of all trade, and then we overstretch ourselves, and then we underdeliver, underperform. So that was one of my lowest points, overstretching myself and telling them I can do this for you, and then not really performing as I was supposed to. So the relationship then also, your clients, you can lose clients by doing things like that.
And tell me, your brand is, as I was saying, it really has grown. You are stretching into opening up your own company, or rather I can say that you've started your own company, which is a PR firm. What was your inspiration? Is there a specific organization out there that you looked up to and say, this is what I want to be, or this is what I want to have? What was your inspiration?
My inspiration was just pretty much the advertising industry. So just looking at the advertising industry in Zimbabwe, for example, and looking at just how it's not really big. It hasn't really been growing that much. It's only starting to grow now as the economy is also trying to just pick up as well. Yeah. But when I looked at it, I was like, there's a gap there, and people don't really understand the importance of PR. People don't really understand the importance of branding. So I was like, let me try to get in there and fill in that gap as well. That's how I got inspired into starting my own PR firm. We're doing advertising, we're doing brand management, we're doing events management as well. So that's how I ended up getting into it. Never thought I would get into that. Did not even have the slightest idea how I should start. I don't even know how to start a business. I don't know how to make a business plan. But I got into it. Just my gut told me that's where you're supposed to be. That's where I went.
And is there an organization that, you know, inspires you, and what principles about it, or what factors of that organization, or characteristics rather, make you excited about business?
There's Jericho right here in Zim, and they're doing pretty great. They've got a great work ethic.
Yeah.
They go big. They don't try to just say, okay, yeah, whatever we have. They go for it. They're going straight for the big fish. And that's what I really like about it. They've inspired me to dream big. In how small I am, I can still dream big and look at that and say, okay, they're making a name in Zimbabwe. They're doing great adverts. They're a big brand in Zimbabwe. I can be that person as well. So I've been trying to get some mentorship from those guys as well.
Oh, and we love the word mentorship.
Mentor us. Yeah.
Do mentors actually make an impact in someone's career?
I seriously think they do. They really do. I've come across a couple of people who've made me think differently because of the mentorship that they provided.
Yeah.
One such person was Nigel Tanakira. How I met him, I had my very first birthday party at a charity home, at an orphanage. I just called him today, like this time in the evening, and my event is tomorrow, and I'm like, can you be a guest speaker? You know, and he came through.
Wow.
Big as he is, he's just like, you know, I don't do this for free though, but you know what, I'll come through tomorrow.
Wow.
And I'll do this for you. He was there on time, and he gave a great speech, and he just made me realize that no matter who you are, you still have to have that in you to help other people, to want to help other people in society. So he's imparted that in me. No matter how big you are, no matter what you have, still bring yourself down and help other people. And he's been mentoring me, he's been mentoring these young children at this orphanage as well. And they're also going to have better lives. He's doing career guidance also, just to show them where they could go with their lives. After they leave the orphanage, they have to leave at 18 and they don't know what to do, they don't know where to go. So mentors are very important in anyone's life. And
perhaps now as we round up, what piece of advice would you give to our audience in terms of making their names big, like the NewsBae?
Well, you have to do what you love and love what you do. So cliched. But many people tend to be driven by popularity, by fame, by money. That's what they think is success. And many of us want to be successful, but are we willing to put in the work to become successful? Are you willing to lose sleep to become successful? Are you willing to stop partying to become successful? Some of us will say, yes, I want to be successful, but they see what other people have and they want to have what other people have. They want to become NewsBae tomorrow and they think, yeah, all I have to do is just walk up and look pretty and have a great voice and I can make it on TV. But they don't realize that you have to put in the work, your 10,000 hours of practice into everything to become a specialist at something. And you just have to put in that work. That's one thing I have to tell you, and you have to do it because of the passion, because of the love, and not to be driven by money or fame or popularity, because that can just drive you to the worst. You can go to the wrong career by choosing to follow money or by choosing to follow fame, and you probably won't even reach your purpose. There's a purpose with everything that you're doing at the end of it all. What is it that you want to leave, the impact that you want to leave? Think about when you die and people, your grave is there and people are walking past and saying, she did this for us. What is it that you want people to remember you for? So don't just do it for the fame, don't do it for the money, do it for that lasting legacy.
Thank you so much, Rumbi Takawira. Wait, are you going to close or should I close?
We can close together.
All right.
Yeah, let's try that. Let's see how that's going to work.
Let's try it out. Thank you so much.
Who's going to start?
You start. Okay, you start. Go ahead.
Fine. Okay, fine. I start.
Okay, go.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Mentor Us Live. And we were here with Rumbi Takawira and Pedzisai Chimbwanda. Okay, did I just like take that too far?
No, that was dope.
Okay.
It was such an exciting episode. I believe that we are going to be growing, always be prepared, always try to learn and make the most of every opportunity that you get. Ru, we are so grateful for your time. And we are definitely going to be following you up. We're going to follow your social media especially, so that we get to experience your life as NewsBae and MentorUsBae. I don't know.
Thank you so much for having me on the program. And remember, always be yourself.
Always be yourself. Until next time, this is Mentor Us Live, and we're saying good night.